I am strong. I am confident. I am grateful. Welcome to the 2D Fit and Ish podcast, the podcast that inspires women empowerment, self-confidence, self-love, all through the arts of fitness, health, wellness, and you know it, that girlfriend ish talk. I am your host, Dawn Thomas, the owner of 2D Pole Fit in the DMV. Listen, I'm that girlfriend that will inspire you to jump off the cliff and build that plane on the way down. Now, tune in, my friend, and let's talk that ish. I am bold. I am fierce. I am a bad ass. I am the ish.
My favorite affirmation I said to myself is I am strong.
Ooh.
And I say that to myself every day.
Yes.
Because it takes strength. It takes a lot of strength to fight through your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my body, you don't win. I decided that fibromyalgia was a part of my life, but it wasn't the only part of my life.
Oh. Welcome to the 2D Fit and Ish podcast. Welcome back. I am so excited that you are here. I am even more excited about the episode that I am sharing with you today. I mean, based on the introduction, the snippet alone, that tells you that this episode is fire. It lets you know. But before we get into this episode, let's pause. Let's pause and bask in those positive affirmations that I share with you in every podcast. I don't know about you, but every time I hear those positive words, receive that positive energy, it hypes me up. And I hope that it does the same thing for you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you before I get into anything else. I have to express my gratitude because as of yesterday, 2D Fit and Ish podcast has 521 downloads. And I thank you. I am so grateful for that. Your downloads, your shares, your word of mouth, everything. This is like a dream come true. I never would have imagined in all of my years that I would have a podcast and have you in other states and in other countries supporting it. And, I just cannot express my gratitude enough, from the U.S. and, of course, my 2D family in the DMV, Texas, California, Kansas, I'm throwing love at you, Germany, Canada, the UK, India, Brazil, and so many other locations that I have not mentioned, but please know that you are in my heart and I am grateful. Thank you so much for that. And, this episode here, let me tell you what to expect in this episode. Write it down if you are able, if you are driving, make a mental note, if you are doing something else. But let me tell you, there are 3 things that I want to highlight in this episode. The first thing is expect to be inspired. Number 2, expect a fresh perspective in the meaning of self-worth. That one is heavy. I'm going to say it again. Expect a fresh perspective on the meaning of self-worth. Number 3, expect to support a growth mindset type. All right? A growth mindset type. And a growth mindset type, that's someone that desires to learn. And they find inspiration in other successes and stories, okay? And they work on their abilities. It's just that growth mindset of being open to receive so that you can basically, build upon the talents and skills that you have so that you can live your life and be successful, okay? I'll say it again because I want you to write this down. Number 1 is inspiration. Number 2, fresh perspective on self-worth. Number 3, that growth mindset. Expect to receive all of that from this podcast. I have one more thing for you, okay? Write this down or ponder it. What is one obstacle, at least one, that is paralyzing you from slaying your goals? This could be on a personal level, on a professional level. It could be peace. There are so many people out there who struggle with having peace within. I want you to reflect on that for a half a second. So let's dive into episode 3, Fibromyalgia and Ish Talk. So I introduced to you Trina from the DMV, okay? As I have gotten to know Trina, her story, her journey is just so inspiring. So please enjoy this episode. I have some final thoughts at the end, but let's dive in. Enjoy. Trina, I introduce you to the 2D Fit and Ish podcast family. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, Trina, to talk a little something with me. Okay, how are you doing, boo-boo kitty?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yes, y'all, all right? And y'all should see Trina. She's in here looking all cute and stuff with her outfit and whatnot, all right? But that is how she do. Trina, I'm trying to think. Trina, how long have we known each other?
I think I started coming to the gym probably about 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So I came to an aerial party, which was like phenomenal. It was great. It was good, an opportunity for, me to actually experience something different. And then I remember you saying, well, we got to talking about, I was like, oh, I wanted to do fitness. I don't think I was 100% fully committed to it at that point. I knew I needed to do something, but I was like, okay. And you said, well, just try bar. And that was a wake-up call to me that I was completely out of shape.
Well, I must say, Trina, having a blessing to witness your health wellness journey, I know a lot of ladies are inspired by you. A lot of ladies are inspired by you. And I said this earlier, I'll say it again. You are a perfect example, role model of the mission that I have, not only for the studio, but just for myself as a whole. What I hope to share amongst women. It's all about women empowerment, So is that when you started to take your health and wellness serious, that bar class?
No.
Okay.
Let's
talk about that.
So, at that time, I had came to bar, but I had a job where I traveled all the time. So I was, I would be in the DMV and then I might be in Hawaii. I would be in the DMV and I might be in California. And so, I would always come to class, but it was during that time, that year that I was traveling so much, I ended up missing my yearly physical. And then about 6 months later, I went. And the doctor said, slap in the face, you're diabetic. So a slap in my face. There were little telltale signs, but she said to me, it's time for you to start diabetes medicine. And coming from an African-American background, you know, we are often plagued with it. You know, my grandmother was diabetic. My grandfather was diabetic. My mother is fighting diabetes. And taking the medication, you know, I guess in the back of my mind, it was like, well, it's just a natural progression. I'll get it around 50. So being 38 and someone saying it, you're like, it's a slap in your face. Like, wow, hold up. Let me stop right here. And so I got on the medication, and the reaction to it drove me crazy. I had an upset stomach. I would have sweats. I would be on planes. And I called my doctor and I said, this can't be it. And she looked me in my face and said, you have the power to control this.
That's a deep... Oh, I got to write that down. 2D fam, did you hear that? You have the power to control this. I don't know about you, but I'm writing that down. You have the power to control this. Okay. Stay with me. Let's inhale inspiration and exhale expiration. Stay with me. Let's inhale inspiration and exhale expiration.
And so when she said that, I looked at her and I said, what do I have to do? And she said, you're going to have to overhaul your health and your diet. And I said to her, give me a year. And she said, okay. I said, give me a year. She said, we still have to take the medicine, but I tell you what, I'll take you off it. Instead of 2 pills, I'll take you down to 1. And that is when I remember coming to you and I said to you, I said, you know, I need to get serious. And then COVID happened, which was a blessing and a curse. Because it was the biggest blessing that allowed me to stop and to really focus on me. I didn't have to travel. You know, I didn't have to send somebody to school. You know, I had to take the opportunity to really think about who was important at that point. And I sat down and said to myself, these kids gonna grow up. They gonna move out.
Oh, yeah, because you have, yeah.
You know, they're gonna grow up. They're gonna live their lives. And it's not their obligation to take care of you. It's your obligation to take care of yourself. And so, you know, with your help, you know, I sat down, you know, we mapped out a way to, you know, I took classes that I didn't like. I will tell you, abs class is, you know, an experience every Monday. I pray before I come. But, you know, mapping out the diet and the exercise and what did I really need to do. And you were very honest with me. And then when I got off the phone with you, I was like, oh, God, I hate her. Because I said, well, what do I got to do to lose my stomach? And you were very honest and said, first of all, you can't spot train your body. You definitely cannot spot train your body. But, you know, Trina, thank you for sharing that. I got so many nuggets, all right, gems. What did they say, nuggets or gems? Because I told LaGreta that her and I would keep up with the style, right? Nuggets, gems, right? But, you know, whatever it is that we want to use, all right? You just shared so much. And I hope that whoever is listening, okay, got something from that as well. But, you know, the one thing that stood out amongst everything, Trina, is your mindset. All right? You said that doctor told Trina, y'all, listen, you have the power to control this. And it just seems like when she said that, I mean, I appreciate you saying that, you know, that you enjoy the classes and, you know, how I helped you or assist you in some sort of way. I appreciate that. But I cannot take away, Trina, from your mindset. You was like, okay, I'm going to do this for me. 2D fam, listen. She did not say that she was going to do this to get all cute in the face and tighten the waist. She did not say anything about snatching this or snatching that or trying to get him to a pair of, you know, size 4 Jordache jeans. She didn't say any of that. She said that she wanted to do this for her health. She wants to do this for her, you know, this diabetes situation. It was that mindset. And there are so many folks out there,
All right. And you might know someone. All right. And I don't even know if I'm talking to you. If this is you, sorry, not sorry. Okay. But before you can slate any goals in life, it has to be for the right reason. And then you have to get that mindset together. All right. Even if you listen to the introduction of my podcast just to get some affirmations in your system and then you cut it off, then that's what the ish that you do. But you have to get your mindset together. All right. I'm getting riled up right now. Okay. Trina, but you understand what I'm saying? It's just your mindset, in which that's what I admire about you. That's why you had to be my first podcast guest, okay? And I'm sure that the other ladies see it as well. It's that mindset that is sexy on you, girl. It is so sexy, okay? But one thing, because we all know that life is not perfect. All right, we know shit is not perfect. You can plan. You can say you're going to do this. You can say that you're going to do that. Okay. How do you, Trina, overcome obstacles? And, I'm just talking about mental obstacles, life obstacles, because I'm sure once the doctor told you that, okay, it had to affect your mental in some sort of way, because we're human, and I know other folks out there be like, okay, Dawn, you're talking all this ish, okay, but you're not in my shoes. You don't know what I'm going through, okay? I'm not Trina, all right? But how do you overcome your obstacles?
So let me say this. I was born a little over 7 months, almost 3 months early. So I always tell people the story of my life is I've been fighting my whole life. I was dropped on this earth fighting. And that's who I am, right? It's okay to fall, but you got to get back up. When I started my fitness journey, my mother had just got diagnosed with dementia. I just watched a family member die of diabetes, 3 months in the hospital, just slowly degrading. My mother is still fighting dementia, and I still have to go to the gym. I still have to work out. I still have 2 children that need me. I still have a family. I still have a job. My life didn't stop because I wanted to change my life. So how did I overcome them? TV, right? If I can, we spend hours a day watching TV, right? People always say, I don't have the time. There's 24 hours in a day, right? If you have 24 hours, you have 1 hour to exercise.
That's right.
If I have an hour to watch TV, I have an hour to change my life. And so I had to sit down and deal with it. On top of the obstacles, I'm fighting fibromyalgia. I have a knee that's bone on bone, So I'm in the gym with, a bad knee, an aching back, hands that might be hurting.
Yeah.
My legs might be hurting.
Yeah.
Anything could be going on. I am never a day where I need pain medication, but I don't take it. Because at the end of the day, I said to myself, if I was going to be in pain, I may as well be in pain from working out. So I may as well do something that was going to change me and that would expand my life. So, it comes down to when you're saying mindset, it really is, do I want to do it? And it doesn't mean that I don't fall down. It doesn't mean that I haven't slipped back, and got comfortable and gained 2 or 3 pounds. But I always keep myself in check.
Yeah.
I'm always looking because I like where I've come to. And I don't ever want to go back.
Yeah. And it's fucking fabulous too, Trina. Because it's fucking fabulous, all right? That's fantastic, which I guess is why one of the reasons, like in my boot camps and my training classes, my fitness classes and things of that nature, when people say, oh, I didn't feel like it, or I can't do this, or even the whining, you know how I am about the whining. Girl, that stuff drives me crazy, okay? But it's because of, sexy ladies like you. Some folks, and I don't know what everyone is going through, but we all have our life challenges. And you don't let that stop you. You don't let that get in your way. You said there's 24 hours in a day. We have an hour to work out. We have 30 minutes. The other day in class, I said, when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have, or if you can't take at least 3 minutes to do some type of self-care ritual, okay? Even if you're drinking your coffee and you say your affirmations 5 times, just something to ground you before you walk out that door. Then it's a matter of what's a priority in your life and what's an option in your life, right? So we just have you here, and I appreciate your honesty and just being transparent, and some of the things that you go through. We have you right here, and that you're focusing on your health and wellness. You're taking it serious. You're getting your workouts in, in spite of, you're a mom, and, your job is demanding just like the next person, So thank you for sharing that. Trina, let me ask you, how many pant sizes have you went down?
Oh, gosh, you really put me on the spot.
Girl, I just had to put you, because, girl, let me tell you, okay, I know I said that you don't focus on the cute in the face and tight in the waist, okay, but, girl, you done got snatched up, all right? Yeah, you done got snatched, just roughly. And, I don't really talk about pounds because you're also toning up, and we all know, 2D fam, okay, that muscle weighs, so getting on a scale is cute, but it's just all about the inches and how your clothes are and all that kind of stuff. You done went down some pant sizes.
So I will be honest. I was comfortable in my fluff.
She said comfortable in my fluff. Y'all, you know what? I'm even going to write that one down. I don't know about you. How you say it, Trina? Comfortable?
I was comfortable in my fluff.
Yeah, I even like that one. I'm writing that down. Are y'all writing that down? Comfortable in my fluff.
So,
all right?
I was cute at every size, I tell people. But at my heaviest, I was a size 18. I am now a size 10, 12.
Wow.
Depending on who makes the brand. I got a little bit of booty back here. I didn't lose it.
Yeah, you got the booty.
But for the most part, I'm a size 10.
Okay.
So 3 to 4, depending on who made the clothes.
Yeah. Trina, you look fabulous. So, Trina, early on, we talked about different obstacles and derailers that possibly come up, okay? I want to talk about and correct me if I'm wrong, the fibromyalgia. And I wanted to introduce this. Well, not introduce, but I wanted to share this with my 2D Fit and Ish fam, because a lot of people don't talk about this. I didn't really understand it or started to read about it, Trina, until you shared with me that you go through this, that you have this, all right? And so I did look it up on cdc.gov, all right, because I was just curious. You talked to me about it, but I was like, dang, I have to read about this. And so according to CDC, it is a condition that causes pain all over the body. It can cause sleep problems, fatigue, mental, emotional distress. I mean, it shares so many things. And when I read that, I was like, wow, I had no idea. I thought that it only had something to do with muscles. Okay, y'all, I'm not an expert or anything to that nature. Okay, if I want to put this out there, if you think that you have it or whatever the case might be, take your ass to the doctor. Okay, MD is not behind my name nor Trina's name. Okay, so I want to put that out there now. But I thought that, that it only affected the muscles. So when I read that and did some more research, I mean, based on everything that you shared thus far, the diabetes and just home life and things of that nature, and just putting that on the list, Trina, you still go hard in the paint with your health, your wellness, and your fitness. If that's not inspiration, y'all, what is? Okay? What's your excuse? Okay, what's stopping you It might not be 100 every day, but you don't give up. You continue to aim for your goals, right? So, based on my breakdown, Trina, that I read off that CDC website, in your words, is there anything that you want to add to that, or if you want to just break it down 2D fit style, what would be your definition? Like if someone off the street would ask you.
So I tell people I hurt every day, all over, right? Most of my pain is concentrated in my hips. So for me, there are times when it's just my hands. This week it's my hands. My hands are aching when I get up. But I have been sleeping on a heating pad for years, at night in order to even allow myself to get to sleep. You have mood swings. I mostly had mood swings because I was tired, because I didn't sleep all night long, because I was in pain. And, people don't talk about the depression that comes with it.
Yeah, I was surprised when I read that. I wasn't that aware of it already, but when I read that, I was like, wow.
Because you say to yourself, right, I'm, 42 years old. I said to myself, why me, right? The thing to me is, why me? Why do I feel like a 70-year-old, or 80-year-old? Or why do I feel like my bones are aching? I want to get up and just be able to roll out of bed and go. And so I learned to laugh about it, right? I was like, oh, I'm like an old car. I got to warm up. And I remember, crying and praying one day. And I said, God, why me? And he said, why not you? If you're strong enough to get through this. And I tell you, there are some days when I can't. There are days when I say to myself, look, I'm going to have to lay here for another hour and get myself together. But there's never a time that I don't say, I'm going to get out of this bed.
Yeah.
Because I have to.
Yeah.
I have to keep moving.
Yeah.
And eventually, my muscles give me a little bit of a break. And, we move forward. But it is, mood swings. It's restlessness. I don't sleep at night. At night, I may, you can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I might be, looking at the sky. And then there are times when I'm extremely tired and I may sleep for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it is an up and down situation that you go through. And it's not one that's easily diagnosed.
Yeah. And that's actually my next question. Are there any, just from personal experience, are there any early warning signs?
So I will say this, right? So the doctors always say that there's some type of trauma or things that happen. And so and then, I go to the doctors. Oh, my hands hurt. Oh, your vitamin D's low. Okay, we fixed that. Then we would go and say, I said my back hurt. Okay, well, there's therapy for your back. And so all of these things that are going on, you're having all these different small things. But finally, the doctor looked at me and said, you know what? Maybe you have, rheumatoid arthritis or you have lupus.
Oh, interesting.
Fibromyalgia was never an option.
Get out.
Never.
That's what I said. I never really hear much about. I hear about lupus and stuff like that, but I don't hear about the fibromyalgia. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, and I'm not going to delete this or take it out. But you know what we talking about, right? I never really heard, that much about it. That's interesting.
And so eventually I went to a rheumatologist and we did the blood work and he did all the checks and he came back and he said, you have fibromyalgia. And I was like, well, what the hell is that?
Right.
What is it? I never heard it. What is it? And so we talked about what it meant. And so I decided that fibromyalgia was a part of my life, but it wasn't the only part of my life.
Oh.
Let
me write. Wait a minute. Did y'all write that down? Wait. Say that again, Trina.
It's a part of my life, but it's not the only part of my life.
Part of life, but not the only part of life. Y'all, in other words, okay, y'all, you know what? Certain things happen, but that does not have to be all of it, okay? You still have other factors, other things going on in life, all right, in which you can fulfill your goals and your destiny. Trina just said, y'all, now I hope you wrote it down. If you didn't write it down, go back, rewind it. It's part of her life, but it's not the only thing in her life. If that's not motivation right there, y'all, I don't know what is. Go ahead, Trina. I had to highlight that. I had to do it.
And so, you start medications, right?
Yeah.
And these medications, I was zonked out. I was asleep. Because they're giving you muscle relaxants, because it's a guessing game, right? I'll try this medication, and if that works, then tell me how that works. Try this medication, if that works, then see if that works. And so, it was a balancing act for months. It was, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, this is too much.
Yeah.
I still have to go to work in the morning, I still have a life. And so it was a balancing act trying to figure out, what works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, it was an opportunity to start to figure out my body as well.
Yeah.
What foods, caused me to have more flare-ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so looking at those things, because it is a part, but it's not, and so when I get up in the morning, I don't say I have fibromyalgia. I say, thank you for waking me up. And I put my feet on the ground.
Did y'all hear that? Trina said when she wakes up in the morning, okay, she just thanked the Lord for the day in so many words, all right, and do what she have to do. You don't hear any woe is me. You don't hear any negative energy in starting the day, okay? And as Trina said earlier, there are still things in life that she has to do and she has to accomplish, all right? Trina, did this discourage you from anything in the beginning, or did it motivate you to really hone in on yourself as a whole?
I think in the beginning, you go through a grieving process, right? Yeah. Because you're saying, why is me? And, I hurt and I'm just going to lay in it, right? And so if you're sitting there saying to yourself, I was like, well, I don't need to work out because I'm hurt. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to lay. And, there were things I missed. I missed cookouts. I missed different opportunities because I was in pain. Yeah. And then one day I just sat down and I was like, you know what? Let's see what things I can change. Right. Yep. So I could change my job.
It's that mindset, y'all. I'm telling you. Her mindset is off the hook. Yeah.
So I can change my job, right? I can change that stress. Yeah. Those things helped me to realize I had to, it says, give me the ability to change the things that I can change. Ooh. So these are the things that I have the ability to change my job. I have that ability.
Do y'all hear that? Instead of whining and crying over stuff, okay, you remind yourself of your affirmation and say, you know what? What'd you say, Trina? Give me the ability to change
the things that I
can change the things that you can change. So, nothing is permanent, y'all. It's that mindset.
And so, I didn't work. I didn't travel anymore, Yeah. I took a job where I didn't travel. Yeah. So then I'm at home, so I can figure out what I'm going to eat. I can figure out, hey, does yoga help me? Yeah. Right. Does meditation help me? Does acupuncture help me? I'm at home.
Yeah, you made that adjustment. You made that adjustment so that you can continue to just live your life to the best of your ability. Okay, there wasn't any woe is me and I'm sitting high in the corner. No, you made that adjustment so that you can live your life to the best of your ability. And then when you put that fitness in there and down to that size 10, child, please, okay? You better go ahead with your bad self. Are there any Well, I guess you answered this early on. I was going to ask you if there are any misconceptions about the fibros, okay, if I call it fibro, all right. But you said some folks mistaken it for lupus and the what's the arthritis that you mentioned?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
And because they're all in the same family, right? But they're all in the same family. But a lot of people think it's all in your head, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, of course, right? Because apparently we all have trauma, right? Or we've all had something go on. So, of course, most people get diagnosed with fibromyalgia are women. And we're in our middle ages, right? Yeah. We're in our early 30s. Yeah. So it has to be in your head, right? And so at times they're like, okay, well, I'm going to treat you with this, antidepressant. Yeah. Well, I'm not depressed. I'm in pain. Yeah. But, depression can come with it. And so it's managing your nerves in order to function through it. And so, 3 million people can't have it in their head. 3 million people have fibromyalgia. 3 million people can't have it in their head. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you can't say that. But the good thing is that fibromyalgia, unlike RA and lupus, isn't debilitating. Meaning it doesn't change the structure of your bones or anything like that. It's just pain.
Interesting.
So
is that hereditary, Trina?
So for me, it wasn't.
I'm just curious. Yeah.
Well, I think it's hereditary because as women, we take on everything.
Ooh.
So I think it's that form of hereditary, right? Because, I'm a woman. I'm supposed to be a superwoman, right? Uh-huh. And I had to take my cape off.
I heard that.
I can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a superwoman, and I'm going to take my cape off.
Right.
And I'm going to lay it to the side, and I'm going to find a way to manage other things.
I know that's
these kids can wash these clothes.
Yeah.
I'm going to meal prep, and you're going to eat it, or you're going to figure it out.
I heard that.
Figuring out a way to, delegate. Because I don't need to be superwoman every day.
I know that's right. I know that's all the way right to the 20th power.
I love my kids, but, teaching them to self-function. And understanding that as a woman, women, yes, we run households, but we got to go to work too.
Yeah.
And if I got to do both, hey, I got to delegate. Hey, you might need to wash these dishes today. You know? Learning that as a woman, I don't have to be everywhere and everything.
Yeah. So, we talked about a lot of ish, Trina. You dropped a lot of nuggets, all right, for the 2D Fit and Ish family, all right? What advice can you offer? As far, you shared, you talked about basically juggling life, with the diabetes. And you mentioned your mom, and, you mentioned the fibro and making the decision to just do it for yourself. You also admitted to obstacles, just life, everyday obstacles. You say you had to take your cape off, or you do take your cape off sometimes. But you don't let that stop you from, and I'm not even going to say 2D Fit fam, from working out and coming here and allowing me to, to slaughter her in class, if you will, okay?
Oh, she does.
I'm not talking about all that, but I'm just talking about living life in general. There are so many folks that allow certain situations, and I'm not going to discredit the situation, because who am I? Who am I to tell you how to live your life or how this certain situation is affecting you? Okay? I can't tell you about that. But we have here Trina. All right? She shared her story. And above all of that, y'all, listen, she continues to live her life to the best of her ability, right? Keeping up with her health, her wellness, her fitness, okay? Giving her all at her job, to her home, to her kids, right? But she still makes time to live her life to the best of her ability. And there's so many people that just give up when that first thing go down, Trina. Some people just stop, and it just hurts my heart. When I witness that, or if someone shares that with me, of course, I'm on their ass, because we should not talk down on ourselves or lose our confidence or feel as though there isn't any hope for us, okay? At any age, at any stage in our life, there is opportunity, okay, for us to live our lives to the best of our ability, okay? So just based on that, Trina, just from your standpoint, do you have any advice for, because, they hear it from me all the time. All right. They're probably like, okay, Dawn, shit, here she go. Okay. But I'm allowed you to speak some advice.
I always say this, right? And a lot of people have looked at me and said over the last 2 years, you're a motivation. I always say to them, I'm not unique. Right? I am not unique. I learned to put myself first.
Put yourself first, y'all.
I put myself first. I made a schedule for my workouts. I don't deter from them. Unless, you may see me come in here and work out, and I'll leave and be on the football field for the rest of the day. But I put myself first.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be with yourself. Every single day. And you're the one that's going to have to look in the mirror, and you're going to have to like what you look back at. So you have to put you first.
Yep. You can't get no realer than that, y'all. You can't, let me tell you, you cannot get more real than that. And I have one last question for you, Trina. All right? Because you know I am all about my affirmations. All right? Affirmations going to town. All right? What's your favorite affirmation and why?
My favorite affirmation I said to myself is, I am strong.
Ooh.
And I say that to myself every day.
Yes.
Because it takes strength. It takes a lot of strength to fight through your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my body, you don't win.
Ha! Did you hear that? Trina said she tell her body. Listen, y'all. She said she tell her body that it does not win.
And so,
I love it.
And so I say I am strong every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to be strong to endure the things that I've endured in this life.
Wow.
To get knocked down repeatedly and have to get back up. You know, nobody's dragging me back up.
Mm-hmm.
I have to drag myself back up. But that comes from, I come from a line of strong women.
Whew.
You know, my mother has dementia, and she would still cuss me out.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, my word. Trina, that was powerful. I got inspired from this episode, so I could just imagine the inspiration and this energy and this motivation that you spread amongst the 2D Fit and Ish family. All right. So, Trina, I appreciate you. Again, I thank you for taking the time out of your day, all right, to be my first guest on this 2D Fit and Ish podcast, Trina. You know, beyond that, I want to thank you for always having my back, for putting me in my place, okay, and seeing things that perhaps that I can't see because I just get so engaged in what I do that, you know, I'm a human. I might miss something on the outside. And y'all, let me tell you, okay, Trina, you know, brings it to my attention, like, okay, don't slow your ass down, go home and drink a glass of wine, you're doing too much, you know, and everybody need that type of person in their life. And whether it was an aerial party or, you know, you just wanting to get down with your health, wellness, and fitness journey, I'm just grateful that you came here to do it. And I am part of that, Trina, and I cannot express my gratitude enough. So as I said before, you are a true example of my mission, 2D Fit, 2D Pole Fit, whatever it is that you want to call it, 2D Fit and Ish podcast. All right. Thank you for being here. And listen, 2D Fit and Ish fans, all right. If you have not done so already, I inspire you to brush up on your affirmations, honey. All right. We're going into a new season. Don't play. Okay. 2D Fit and Ish podcast episode 1, which is affirmations and Ish. Episode 2 is living a purpose-driven life. And it was a pleasure. It is a pleasure to share with you episode number 3, which is Fibromyalgia and Ish Talk.
Let's revisit the 3 bullet points that I asked you to write down or ponder. From this episode, Fibromyalgia and Ish Talk, I hope that you were inspired. I hope that you gained a fresh perspective on self-worth. And I hope that we nurtured a growth mindset. I also invited you to write down or ponder at least one obstacle on a personal level or professional level, internal, whatever the case might be. I asked you to ponder on that obstacle. And based on this episode, Trina's testimony, okay, her being transparent in her journey, how will you fight this obstacle? How will you tell your body, which could be your mindset, your attitude, whatever the case might be, how will you tell this body, this situation, that it will not win. And hold yourself accountable to that shit. Don't accept no from yourself. I'm not even talking about external factors. I'm talking about internal factors, okay, within. Do not accept it. 2D Fit and Ish podcast fam, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your downloads. Thank you for your shares. You can follow me on Instagram at 2DPoleFit. I will appreciate that. I will highly appreciate the follow and the connection. And also, you can support the 2D Fit and Ish podcast. I have this cool support page. The website is buymeacoffee.com/2dfitish. I'll say that again. buymeacoffee.com/2dfitish. So if you find it in your heart to support, listen, I will give you a shout out and get myself some hot coffee and work on this next episode for you. If I blessed your heart in any way, if I inspired you, feel free to leave me a review, because y'all, all of this is just inspiration for me to push forward, and it just feels good to know that I am living my purpose-driven life. All right, so thanks, you guys. I look forward to the next episode. Nama 2D Slay.